Hello, 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 and I am not here. Let me fix that. I don't know why I felt like singing that. I'm okay, I'm back. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing today on this fine, what is it, a Wednesday, December 29th? By the way, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing the bell, and hitting the like button. Tesla little pullback today. There was selling, but we know it was not Elon because the Form 4 last night actually said in it that the plan was completed yesterday. So it was Elon selling into the upgrade yesterday, which, he didn't get to choose. It was interesting timing for that upgrade, but we won't go into that. But there was some selling pressure today. And we have what we call a nice little, again, wavy bull flag, since we've been talking about horizontal channels and flag patterns. And if you want to know more about that, please watch the replay of today's market overview. You will probably pick up on something with how we do horizontal channels and flags and everything else. Yes, Elon is done selling shares for the year. He's done selling because now the window's going to close and he can't until after earnings comes out. He can't do anything, and so you have the earnings coming out. When is that? End of January, beginning of February, and you also have deliveries coming out this weekend. So Q4 deliveries for this weekend. But you can see here, slight little pullback, have all the indicators off, still in bullish mode on the daily, bullish mode on the weekly, bullish mode on the 4 hour. You can see this little flag pull back to the 4 hour. There actually was a lot of little really good setups today uh, that happened intraday. Lots of really interesting stuff. Let's see, we had the selling momentum right off the open. Quick little rebound. And then, my bullish on the sand was just 1099. So dipping below it, only coming above it briefly. But with this kind of selling off the open and the immediate gap fill, then we had more momentum to the downside. Here are the levels from yesterday. I had to update them to post some things in Discord. But there were the levels, 1079.75 right there. And that was just below, it was the low of the day. I wouldn't call Tesla in a slump. Tesla's gone on a pretty strong run. People are rotating into safer plays, and Tesla fundamentally, people argue Tesla is undervalued. I'd still think it's way overvalued, and momentum stocks like Nvidia and everything are still having trouble too. The high flying momentum stocks, which I put Tesla into, are all having the same. If we take a look at Tesla, all right, what kind of rebound was this? I mean, it was down at 886 and up to over 1100 again. That is not a slump. That is a massive rally right there. You take a look at that in context, and it outperformed the NASDAQ, but look how similar it looks. Look how similar it looks. It even outperformed the NASDAQ all the way up. So look at this little rally flag pattern. Rally flag pattern. You're getting stuff that's people are rebalancing stuff at the end of the year and managing positions. So, but this has been on a tear, and remember, it triggered a massive topping pattern. And just because it's back up here doesn't mean it can't roll over. It's still in bullish mode. Right now, it's got some work. If it's going to break down, it's got to prove it's going to break down. Right now is a bigger, we talked about the flag patterns. Let me get off some of these intraday levels, then we'll take a look at that. But so we had the levels down. Where are we? Where are we? Here we are. Let's see. So doing the projections from these lows, you then had this 1065 area. So this was the pausing area. So from the day's high to this little area, I posted this in Discord. You got with that harmonic retracement level, 1064.70, 1065, nice little bottoming pattern there. Momentum bars, and I'll show you, I put this play in here after the fact. Let me update these levels now. We'll have to take a look. That's the minor levels. Oh, I posted from yesterday. Here we go. Let me get the other levels on here. See what we have. Nah, nothing much there. I hate when that's not lining up real well. So I'm just going to use the most recent swing. Here's what I was talking about. Let me get over to this other camera. Momentum bars coming off, wiping out this low. There wasn't a key. There's just a little mini divergence down there, but this was a great play today. When you see momentum bars, you can also see it on the 15-minute really nicely. You see these momentum bars, the upside, coming back up to test this prior support becoming resistance. And I've shown this before, how then I like to watch to see if the 62.5% retracement level holds on a closing basis, and watch for rotation back up. Why do I love that setup? Because your reward to risk is really great. You can keep a stop right below these lows on a closing basis, so I just don't do it if it dips down, but you can keep a stop. You can do a catastrophic stop below about the 75 level, should just start tanking, but you can manage your reward to risk off there. But if it rolls over and closes back below those lows, you want to be out, and then you just want to ride it to a retest of that momentum area high, and then you can do the projections. I've talked about that before. So this is taking momentum with a reversal pattern. It's holding the key levels there. Watch between the 50 and the 62.5 for that reversal. Coming up here, doing your projections. So we have the harmonics projections right here. See, there. Wait, that's the wrong one. Wrong one. I have retracement projections on here too. So here's the running up here. Already showed you got the rotation up, stop down here, retest that high area. That's 1087. You see pausing there, but then you can do your harmonics 1090.36 and then 1093.27. And I also did this. I don't normally highlight this, but this is a really nice potential ABC pattern. So when I see that, I like to do these levels with my retracement extensions. Why? Then they always disappear. Retracement extensions. So why are they retracement extensions? Because for the harmonics, we're clicking here and then 2 clicks up here. This is a click here, and then retracement. So it's a click down here, and here are the key levels I utilize. 0.625 and 1. Those are the major ones, and here's the 625 level that actually came out right at the prior highs of the momentum areas where we paused out, and there was the one level, 1095.80, coming up right there and then retracing back down. So there's a little new thing you can add to your repertoire if you want. Just to carry on a conversation from the market analysis, this would not be a horizontal channel. There was a little mini one in here, then it's turned into a flag pattern. Why is it a flag pattern? Because if we start coming down, you can see the clear flag there. So you can see the flag pattern right there. What I'm more interested in than that, though, I mean, it's essentially a textbook bullish flag. Key areas, we're holding the 1 hour rotation zone. So if you start getting a close back below the 1 hour rotation zone, I'm then focusing on this 1073 area. By the way, it did fill the gap today. The 1073 area. And then watch that 1073, and that would also be into the 4 hour rotation zone. Then I'll start watching a bigger pullback. If we get through 1054, then I'm focusing on about 1031 to 1034. So that's an area. If this starts breaking down, if you're still in longs, remember we have some buy patterns in here. It starts pulling in here. It definitely might be advisable if you've not taken anything off up here yet to lighten up a little bit and watch for another rotation if it starts breaking down. Now, conversely, if we start getting back above, remember I drew the flag in here, but if we start getting back above this 1099 area where I'm just going to leave the bullish line in the sand for tomorrow, then we're getting back above this very key level, and I'll start watching again for a retest of this upper trend line area. You see here where the trend line looks like it's connected here, but it's not. It's actually drawn from, this is the defining point, this is the initiating point. So it just held. So then I'm going to watch that trend line, which tomorrow would come in about 1113 area. And then 1120, let me see here. Then we're going to go for the reverse harmonics, 1125.94, 1132.88, then 1148.11. Those are all the upside targets, not just for tomorrow, but for the next 2 days. So it's sort of at the decision point, but we're still in bullish mode on the daily, bullish mode on the weekly, bullish mode on the 4 hour, still in bullish mode. It's not closed below the 1 hour rotation zone even. It's flattening out a bit, so that's why it's now got to prove itself, especially tomorrow, but it is still technically in bullish mode. Remember, we don't predict, we trade. So I just went through, if it starts breaking down below this and getting into that 4 hour rotation zone, you can start potentially watching for the bigger pullback. Other than that, you got to trade with the trend. So people are well. You have end of year rebalancing, and it looks like also you have people going into healthcare, consumer staples, utilities, which are generally safer plays, and because the economy may be slowing down. That's why next year, and the breath still stinks in the market. Next year, I'm going to start watching, especially in the first quarter, for a potential bigger correction. But until that happens, we got to trade with the trend. So if you want to trade with the trend, you start getting below this 4 hour rotation zone, you can lighten up a little. And then if it rotates up, you can re-add. Doesn't never hurts to take something off after this kind of big rally. And tomorrow, if it starts off strong, we have the target C upside. Other than that, there's no major topping pattern yet. Now, what'll be interesting is it could push up. It could come up here, make some more recent swing highs, and be in a 4 hour divergence pattern and start giving us a warning sign that it's getting very toppy again. And it could even still be in, even though it's had this strong rally, it can still, we've confirmed that double top pattern. So theoretically it could roll over, but it's got to get through the daily rotation zone first. And that's your major warning sign. And the bottom of the daily rotation zone is right about 1031 with the 37.5% retracement. So that's your bigger macro pattern that if it starts breaking back down below the daily rotation zone, then we can watch again for there's some gaps to the downside that we'll start targeting. By the way, other little price action. This was not a double bottom. Okay. Why was this not a double bottom? Just going to review some concepts I know people ask about. Because the moves clearly that way exceeded it, and this way went into above the candle body. So that was not a double. But there were a couple little double plays. Don't know if anybody spotted them. At least this, I showed you how to do that retracement extensions. This was a little double, so this would be, especially once this triggered up with that retracement extensions, profit taking. And then you can watch for reversal patterns down at the final target. So you see here, this is the move that started it. These targets were within it, and then you had the bottoming pattern, and this was a little mini double at the end of the day. Right here. And both the conservative and the aggressive targets, look at there, all within that move that started. So that was just an interesting little double, just pointing those out to people. Not that you would have necessarily done anything with it. But if you lightened up here and you're looking to get back into something, that was a little end of day little play, and then it sold just down at the very end. Just wanted to review those concepts. What else do we have? It could. It can consolidate. I'm just going to keep watching now. If the 4 hour rotation zone flattens out, if it holds above the 4 hour rotation zone, it could just keep drifting sideways or even a slight little pullback. It doesn't have to do anything. I'm not favoring the odds of it remaining in this little tight range, though. It's going to break one way or the other. And it still favors an upside break. However, it's really got to prove itself above that 1100 area. So you're staying out ahead of production, which is fair. Production numbers come out on Sunday. So people might want to consider that going into the weekend, but we still got 2 days left in the week. So that's what I'm watching for. Still, if it can get back above that 1100 to come up here and at least retest this trend line and possibly the highs from the 28th, and then I will reassess there. Now, just to recap, if we start getting into that below this low and you'll be in the 4 hour rotation zone, then it's over for me. I'm watching for a bigger pullback. At least it's over for me in the terms of I'm not going back down to 1,000 yet, but I'm going back down to at least possibly around the 1031 to 1035 area. I'm not seeing anything else. So that should I'd come up with a game plan both ways. Now, if tomorrow morning, also, since we just went through this also, this is mimicking the NASDAQ so well right now. If the NASDAQ starts breaking down, and Tesla starts following it, and the NASDAQ starts getting a lot of selling pressure, then I'm watching for that bigger pullback in Tesla too. So if you want to watch something else to see if Tesla's trading with the NASDAQ, as the NASDAQ's breaking down, Tesla's most likely going to be breaking down, and I'm going with the bigger pullback too. And why that, again, that 1031 level I showed on the 4 hour, bottom of the 4 hour rotation zone, it's coming in right in line with the daily rotation zone. So that's the key line in the sand. Now we get a close below there, then I will agree with the motor trade and start watching for the pullbacks to the 1,000 area and the 50% of this up move. The 50% of this up move is 1,002, and it's the 50 EMA. William, I'm not going into that on this live stream. I see you, William. You have to ask that in the other one, and I don't think much has changed. So I don't know anything else. I'm not seeing any more questions. Let's just see how the day unfolds tomorrow. And we'll take it from there. So hope everyone has a fantastic evening. Hope everyone is enjoying some vacation time too. Don't get too nuts with the markets because we start next week. Everything's back to full force. And you're better to take some extra time now and just manage any long-term positions. And then be prepared for next year. Talk to everyone later. Bye.